In this video, I will be offering you a complete guide on how to drive, dispatch and guard in Stepford County Railway, so that this doesn't happen to you. The driving system in Stepford County Railway is rather weird. Rather than regular throttle and brake controls, you set the target speed and the train automatically adjusts the throttle and brakes. This can make the system rather confusing for new players. First, pick your train and spawn in. Your two options are the Class 717 and Class 357, and we will be using the 357 today. We will spawn at Farley Depot on R005. The first thing you need to do is to turn on the pantograph by pressing P. This will connect your train to the overhead power lines and allow you to move. Now, hold the W key. You will see the green notch on the speedometer go up. This is your target speed. Wait for it to reach the speed limit noted by the red dot. As your train accelerates, the blue needle will come up to meet the green notch. This blue needle represents your speed, and it is also displayed numerically. Keep heading towards Airport Central, adjusting your speed based on the speed limits. It should be at 90 for now. As you approach Airport Central, viewing from your cab, you'll notice this yellow board with an upside down triangle. This board is telling you to prepare to slow down to 30 miles an hour. If you're going the speed limit, this is the time you need to start slowing down. Set your speed to 30 miles an hour and let the game do its thing. You are now entering Airport Central at an appropriate speed. So, how will you stop your train? The Class 357 is a 4-car unit, so you will need to stop at the 4-car stop marker. If you can't find one, look for the next number up, so 5, 6, 7 and so on. If there's no higher number, stop at the S marker, which is typically towards the end of the stop. As you approach your marker, slow down to 10 miles an hour. At this point, you've pretty much just got to eyeball it. You'll get better with practice obviously, but yeah, can't really help you here. The good thing is, as long as you're not stopping at the S marker, even if you overshoot the marker by a bit, you'll still be entirely on the platform. When approaching a buffer stop on the other hand, make sure to slow down to 5 or 6 miles per hour by the end of the platform. Hold this speed for a little bit before the buffers, and then kill your speed once you think it's fine. It's alright even if you leave a slight gap, as long as you don't come into contact with or eat the buffers. At some point during your driving, you'll probably notice this yellow circle turn on and a loud alarm go off. This is the Automatic Warning System, or AWS for short. It will turn on whenever the next signal isn't green. You have 6 seconds to deactivate it before the emergency brakes are applied and your train grinds to a halt. Speaking of signals, what do they mean? They function kind of like stoplights actually, with an additional light. Red means stop. Do not go past a red signal. That is a SPAD. The emergency brake will come on and you will not be allowed to proceed further. A yellow signal tells you that either the next signal is red, or you are approaching a junction or terminating stop. You are required to pass these signals at no more than 40 miles an hour. A double yellow signal simply tells you that the next signal will be yellow. And finally, a green signal tells you that everything is fine and you can proceed at the speed limit. Now let's practice stopping at a station from 100 miles an hour. This is the most common scenario on the main line, and the first place we will realistically reach this speed is Coxley, and this is where most noobs tend to overshoot their first few times. I would advise you to keep your target speed to a maximum until you're 0.35 miles from the station. You should now violently slam it down to 40 miles an hour. Upon reaching the start of the platforms, lower it even further and just eyeball it from there. Obviously, you'll get better with more experience, but if you enter the platforms at 40 miles an hour, you will generally be able to stop at almost every single stop, except for the short platforms on Waterline and perhaps the really long platforms at Morganstown, Lynn, etc. Another important note for driving If you are playing with a signaler in your zone, or generally in the server, do not close doors on a red signal. This cancels your TRTS, or train ready to start, and the signaler will probably forget to turn your signal green. It will also fail your driver training for closing doors on a red signal, so please try not to do it. This wasn't as big of an issue for ordinary drivers prior to the Roblox chat restriction update. However, now, if you are not allowed to communicate with the signaler, he probably won't know that you are still stuck at the station, and he will not give you a green signal, and you will essentially be stuck. With most of the driving suggestions done, let's move on to dispatching. Dispatches in SCR are meant to, well, dispatch trains. Unlike driving, dispatching has to be unlocked by first completing your driver training and then completing the dispatching test. I cannot share any answers for this test, but it's generally easy, and fun fact, you can open the guide while taking the test, so if you have any questions you're unsure of, look them up in the guide. The most important thing a dispatcher needs to know, aside from dispatching, is train priority. You will not be taught priority during the training, so it is important to remember it from the guide, as you can still get demoted for not following it, and the drivers will probably get very angry. There is 3 elements to priority, and those are the head code, the operator, and the lateness of the train. The most important is the head code. Head code 9 has the highest priority, followed by head code 1, head code 2, and then head code 3. Always dispatch head code 9 trains first, then 1, then 2, and finally 3. You will most often see head code 9 on express and Airlink trains. However, it's also present on R137 from Metro. Head code 1 is used for almost all non-stopper services, mainly Airlink Express and Connect, and head code 2 is used for stopping services, so Waterline, Metro, some Connect services, and that's about it. Head code 3 is only used for trains coming out of the depot, so you'll rarely see it. If 2 trains have the same head code, the next point is operator priority, and it goes in this order. Express trains first, then Airlink, then Connect, then Waterline, and then finally Metro. You won't be using this often, but if 2 trains do end up with the same head code, remember this order. It will also be present during the theory test. And finally, if 2 trains have the same head code and are on the same operator, you should always dispatch the train with a higher lateness. If you have 2 Class 357s, both head code 1, but one is 7 minutes late and the other is 2 minutes late, you should always dispatch the one that is 7 minutes late first. Now onto the actual procedure. We'll go over the procedure without a guard first. Once a train arrives at the station, it will show up on your HUD, as well as the TRTS box on its platform. If there's no TRTS box, you might have to wait a bit, or the station has automatic TRTS, and you'll be notified in the dispatching UI. Once you get to the train, turn on its TRTS box when it stops. This notifies the signaler that the train is ready to start, and that they should turn the signal to green. Position yourself at the back half of the train, ensuring that you are visible to the driver. You must also face the driver and the front of the train. Once the closed doors button lights up, if the signal isn't red, press it to instruct the driver to close doors. You can also check the signal status via the off indicators and banner repeaters. If the off indicator is lit, that means you can dispatch the train safely. Once the driver has closed the doors and all of the interlock lights are off, you can press the right away button. This will instruct the driver to leave the station. You must stay on the platform until the train has fully left said platform, and then you may move on to another train or just chill in the waiting area. Let's now go over the procedure with the guard. The first part is basically the exact same, with a TRTS box. However, you must be positioned at the front half of the train and facing the guard, not the driver. You do your door closing and right away as normal, making sure to pay attention to the signal and the off indicators. When dispatching, also please make sure to not move during the animations. Also, once again, remember the priority rules. And finally, it's time for the guarding guide. To obtain the guard role, you need to pass your dispatcher training and pass yet another theory quiz. I swear, SCR has more theory quizzes than school. It isn't really that difficult, and once again you can look up the answers in the guide. Thankfully, guarding doesn't feature any priority problems, you are just controlling the doors. To start guarding, walk up to a train and request to guard it. Once the driver accepts the request, you will be guarding them. Stand at your local door, indicated by the flashing interlock light. When the train is ready to depart, whistle and then close the doors. You must now check the interlock lights. Ensure that all of them, except for your local light, are off. Now, you can whistle again and close your local door. Make sure to get inside of the train before the local door has closed. Now, press Q to buzz the driver and let him leave the station. Once again, during this process, make sure that you only close the doors if the signal isn't red. Closing doors on a red signal will have you fail your training, and you will also be demoted if you are a guard and are reported to a supervisor, or a supervisor sees you and decides to demote you. Once again, you can always check that the signal is green by ensuring that the off indicators are lit, or that the banner repeaters are in this position shown on screen. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this guide serves you well. Special thanks to my channel members whose names you can see on screen right now. Like, subscribe, and join the Discord via the link in the description. I am very bored now, so I'm gonna go troll people in a class 357 now. Goodbye.